When was the last time you took a long-distance trip by bus? If it's been a while, you might be surprised. Bus travel has changed so much that it's this country's fastest-growing form of city-to-city transportation. Many modern buses could even be called luxurious, roomy, with leather seats, Wi-Fi, and yet they're still the most affordable ticket to ride. CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg is here with more. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Anthony.
What accounts for the explosion in bus travel?
Blame the airlines, because they've been cutting back on capacity, pulling out of some cities entirely, or diminishing service to others. And so on trips of under 400 miles, the bus becomes an economically viable alternative. It may be also the only alternative. And so you're seeing such an increase in bus ridership. Last year alone, a 30% growth.
Wow.
Yeah, nearly 700 million trips. There are more than 4,000 intercity bus lines in this country. People don't realize that. And with more than 40,000 buses. And as you said in the introduction, more and more new buses coming online with Wi-Fi and leather seats and really good safety features.
They're tricked out. And, I found this just a few weeks ago. I was traveling up to New York from D.C. for the weekend. The round-trip flight was $850. Round-trip bus, $40.
And that's exactly what that fare is today, because on the Delta shuttle or the U.S. Air shuttle, if they own you on that flight, on a flight that lasts only 38 minutes, they're going to charge you $850. Hey, take the bus.
And these are tricked out buses. I mean, you get movies and Wi-Fi.
So you liked it.
That wasn't bad.
Okay,
so you found some great deals.
Sure, I'll give you some examples. Let's say between Chicago and St. Louis, the bus on Megabus, about $14.50. That's it. American Airlines, $157. And by the way, to be fair, we did this 2 weeks from today, so you can actually book 2 weeks in advance, stay over that dreaded Saturday night. Even then, the bus is a great deal.
There are also great deals on the New York to Boston run, you say?
That's right. Peter Pan, $50 round trip. United Airlines, $136 round trip, so that's almost 3 times as much.
Right.
What about the safety record? I mean, we've had some pretty horrific bus accidents.
Yeah, I reported on this on CBS Sunday Morning last year. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has been cracking down. You remember the famous Chinatown bus here in New York called Fenghua. 2 months ago, they took them out of business entirely because of safety violations and bad inspections. They're really cracking down now, and they have to, because as more and more people are riding the buses, they're getting more of our attention.
Well, I do get suspicious, though, Peter, when you see the price of some of these tickets.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've still got $10 bus runs in some cases here, and I worry who's driving if that's what they're paying.
Well, that's what they're cracking down on. Bus ridership is one thing, but the bus drivers are another. How much rest are they having? Who's keeping their logbooks? And this is what the federal inspectors are doing. They're actually inspecting logbooks to make sure there's enough crew rest, if you will, between rides.
Obviously, one of the big problems you run into with a bus that you don't run into with a plane is traffic. Adding, you think a trip is going to be 4 hours and it ends up being 6.
Well, if you time it right, Boston to New York, you could do it door to door in like 3 hours and 15 minutes if they're doing the right thing in like non-peak times. But remember, you've got the Wi-Fi, which is free, by the way.
Right.
You've got leather seats. Some of these buses have lounges and bars. Right. I mean, and if you actually did the time, if you and I were going to do a race today, leave right from here on the broadcast center and go to Boston, you go to LaGuardia, I take the bus, I could beat you.
Yeah. Let's look at one more really good deal that you've got.
Sure.
Los Angeles to San Francisco.
Los Angeles to San Francisco, the Megabus, $38, Virgin Air, $173. That's 5 times more.
That's a 400-mile trip.
Yeah, but I know it's a 400-mile trip, but that's the breaking point. On a 400-mile trip, under 400 miles, it becomes economically viable. Over 400 miles, George Raft is driving. You've got for those people who remember George Raft, thank you very much. And you've got a drifter next to you drooling. But other than that, under 400 miles, you're in.
I remember the drifter drooling. That was my last bus trip.
You try to buy a last-minute plane ticket, the price is going to go way up. Yeah. With the bus, does that happen as well?
It does go, but not exponentially. So, for example, we mentioned the $14 bus fare this morning. If you're going to the last minute, it goes up to $50, but it doesn't go up to $850.
Right.
And that's the difference.
All right, Peter Greenberg, thanks so much.
Don't forget the drooler.
How could we?
I remember him well.